Good morning, everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be answering your questions. I just realized on YouTube, I can actually filter comments and filter them so I can view comments that have a question in them. So I thought that would be a fun way of doing a Q&A, is that I would let YouTube filter the comments and I would answer any question you guys have asked that I haven't responded to in the comment section. I want to make my own plastic brick, but then what should I do with it? They're referring to an eco brick. So this is an eco brick, plastic bottle, and there's roughly 500 grams of plastic shoved into this bottle. I would recommend checking out EcoBrick's website. It's ecobrick.org, I believe. And they give you plenty of ideas on what you can build with that. You can also just give it to someone who's building a structure or a wall, and then they'll have another brick to use. What good is whole wheat without the wheat germ in it? I have no idea. We eat whole wheat flour, white flour. It tastes good to me. I don't know if it has wheat germ or if it doesn't, but I like all flours. There isn't a flour I don't like. How do you keep the outside of your Moka pot so shiny? I wash my hand, but with daily use. After about 3 months, she's looking rugged. We don't do anything special, we just use water. And sometimes a little Dr. Bronner soap if it gets really grimy, but when I wash it, I just use water. You both eat a lot of bread. How do you stay skinny? Yeah, we do eat a lot of bread. I eat bread every single day, multiple times a day, and I have lost weight through the years. I think my highest weight was like 145, and now I'm around 112. So my bread consumption through the years has gone up, but my weight has gone down. So I'm either a medical oddity, or bread is not the culprit when it comes to me gaining weight. In my opinion, bread isn't unhealthy, so it's just a part of our healthy vegan diet. We also don't overeat. We primarily eat whole foods. Both of us follow the forks over knives recommendations for a healthy whole foods plant-based diet. It's similar to what Dr. McDougall recommends with the starch solution. So we primarily eat carbs, carbohydrates. We get plenty of protein, plenty of fat. We don't count calories, so we just eat foods that are healthy. We don't eat too much of them. And we don't work out excessively. Living in this tiny house gives me plenty of activity. And so my diet paired with my, semi-active lifestyle is the reason why I am at a healthy weight. But if you want to learn more, check out Forks Over Knives, The Starch Solution, Dr. Greger, T. Colin Campbell, Dr. Esselstyn. There's plenty of resources out there, but just Google those things and you will find the information you need. But yeah, I wouldn't focus too much on bread as being like a problem food, because bread is not the problem. It's all of the other crap you're eating that causes weight gain. Obviously, it's different for every person, but in my case and with Kuba's case, we eat bread every single day and our weight, we're at a healthy weight, and I've lost a lot of weight through the years, but I'm still eating lots of bread. In addition to other foods too. Like, I wouldn't advocate a diet that's like completely bread, obviously, but it's not, eating bread doesn't mean you're going to be overweight. Are you going to start canning? If so, I hope you share some videos. Yes, we're going to start that. When the weather's nicer, we will get into canning and jarring, making preserves, stuff like that. How do you afford to live and move around Europe? I've made a video dedicated to this topic. I also recently did an update where I talk about how I earn money on YouTube. So check out those videos for the answer. Long story short, I changed my spending habits before I left the US. So I'm not spending money on stuff I don't need. I sold everything I owned. I changed my lifestyle completely so I can spend as little money as possible. So that would allow me to travel. And now my situation is different, where I'm a full-time YouTuber. And so my income is primarily from YouTube, with ads on YouTube, my blog, affiliate sales, and then things like Patreon and PayPal. So that's how I afford to live here. Like, this lifestyle is not an expensive lifestyle. So the simpler you live, the less money you have to spend to live that way. But check out those other videos, because I go more in depth with how I afford to travel and stuff like that. Oh, another bread question. I've watched all of your vlogs. You eat a lot of bread. How do you stay so slim? I wish I could do the same. Again, bread is not the culprit. You have to look at your whole diet to see what you're eating. If you eat a healthy diet, a balanced diet with whole foods and get plenty of calories, eating bread is not going to make you fat. Again, check out Forks Over Knives and the Starch Solution, and you'll find useful information about, if you want to change your diet and eat how we eat, then check them out. I can post some links in the video description too. Someone's asking me, what is your procreation? Do you have sexual problems? Kuba, make this beautiful lady a kid. This is a common question I get, or a demand, is that I need to have children. I don't have sexual problems. I just don't want a kid. We don't want a baby. We've never wanted a baby. I have no desire to have children. So Kuba is never going to make me a kid. Kuba even got a vasectomy when we first started dating because we both are committed to never having children. So it's not going to happen. Jeśli mieszkać w Polsce, to nauczysz się polskiego, może? So they're asking me if you're living in Poland, then you should learn Polish maybe. I am learning Polish, and this is from my Living in Poland as an American video. I did explain in that video that I am learning Polish, I'm actively learning it, and I can understand a lot of Polish, so I will get there. Don't worry about it. Are you a bit Asian blood or Native American? I'm struggling to wrap my mind around your ethnicity. You did mention that in one of your episodes, and it does intrigue me. Yeah, questions like this. I honestly wish we could, get to the point where people aren't asking questions like this, in general, not just on YouTube. Because I understand when people are curious about someone's ethnicity when you can't figure out what they are, but I feel like it's better, and it's more polite, just to not ask those questions, and just to be okay with the fact that you might not know what someone is, or where their parents are born, and maybe just wait for them to explain it on their own terms when they want to talk about it. And this question, I get this question all the time, not just on YouTube. My whole life I've been asked this question. And this is even me, being an American living in the US for the majority of my life. People are constantly questioning where I'm from, and for some reason they want to know where my parents are from. So it does kind of irk me when people ask that, and I understand that people, they don't mean it in a bad way, at least most of the people. They're just curious. But I would just hope that we could just understand that you don't have to know someone's ethnicity. It doesn't matter where someone's from. And unless we're having a discussion about race and ethnicity, stuff like that, it's not relevant to my videos. And I may have mentioned once that I am half Korean, so there's the answer. But to me, it's not important, and it's I would definitely talk about it in the videos if it was important to me. So I just don't want to talk about that stuff. And side note, I don't want to talk about my family because this is my channel and this stuff is personal to me. So I don't feel the need to share every aspect of my life just because I have YouTube. It's just kind of cringy to me when people ask this question because it comes from just the personal curiosity. They're curious. They want to know what ethnicity I am. And I just find that strange because I have never asked someone what ethnicity they are. Even close friends, that's not something that comes up unless they want to talk about it. And it's weird to me too when people try to guess what I am, or they try to tell me what I am, or say that I'm lying, that I'm really, no, you're really Japanese, or you're really this or that or whatever. You look Mexican, or are you sure you're American? Because you look like this, and stuff like that. And so I would just ask you guys, if you're watching something or whatever, and it bothers you that you don't know where someone is from, maybe just trust that if they say they are American, that's all you need to know, is that they're American. You don't have to know where their mom was born or their dad is born. Because to me, as someone who's been asked that question their whole life, it does get tiresome to have to explain. And when people preface it too with oh, I hope I'm not being rude, or pardon my bluntness, or I hope it's not rude to ask, to me, that's a signal that they know it's rude to ask, but they just want to satisfy their curiosity. But maybe next time, just don't ask the question and just let the person explain, and try to be okay with just not knowing. You don't have to know what someone's ethnicity is, or what their gender is, or what their sexual orientation is. Just let them be, and yeah, just don't worry about it. Do you notice Kuba's Scottish accent, slight though it may be? Yes, I definitely can notice his accent, because he lived in Scotland for 10 years, so he has a Scottish accent. And When he says certain words, it really comes out. But yeah, I like his accent. What is the name of the song starting at 4:50? They're talking about the video, My Husband Cuts My Hair. I've been doing this for a long time now. Every video, if you look in the video description, at the bottom, I put the name of the songs used in that video. They come from Epidemic Sound. So if you want to try Epidemic Sound, it's a subscription service where you get music to use in your YouTube videos or online. Then I also have an affiliate link in my video description to where you can sign up for a free month using Epidemic Sound. But if you ever want to know the music in my videos, it's in the video description, so check that out. What is the square feet of your house? I don't know the square footage, but I do know it is less than 20 meters squared. It's 4 by 5 meters. So you can just ask Google and it'll convert that for you. Will you be adding links for the coffee grinder and the Bialetti? I want to order both and will use your links if you're going to post them. Thank you for offering to use my affiliate links, but I'm not going to post the link for the grinder and Bialetti. The grinder comes from a Polish company. It's like a little Polish home goods store here. I don't know if they ship internationally, but also I would prefer if you want to buy those things to look locally. I'm sure you can find a Bialetti at a local shop where you live. So I don't want to post those links to Amazon because then people are ordering them over long distances unnecessarily. And really, that Moka pot, you can get them everywhere. And the coffee grinder too. You might not be able to get the same exact coffee grinder unless you're like living in Poland. But I'm sure you can find something similar in a local shop. But thank you for offering to use my affiliate links. Another coffee question. How do you know the coffee was done? It'll just stop sputtering. You'll hear it just go through the Moka pot and then it'll just be like shh or something like that. And then you know it's done. This is a weird one. It's on my PB2 video. I did a video where I talk about powdered peanut butter. They're saying, so when you say high in fat, high fat, you're not doing anything all day to burn that fat? I don't know what they're talking about, but yeah, PB2 is an awesome product. I really like it. But yeah, I don't know where they're going with that question. Another odd question. I have a question. Where is Europe? I think they're trying to make fun of how I say Europe. So I guess, yeah, where is Europe? I don't know. What do you think about the Epstein case? Coming from a country where the whole of establishment is controlled by a bunch of pedophiles must be depressing. I don't know if the whole of establishment in the US is controlled by pedophiles. But maybe you know more than I do. I don't know. Someone's asking me, hey, do you have Instagram? I don't anymore. I used to have Instagram, but honestly, I feel so much better not using Instagram. To me, it was just a big time waster, so I'm glad I don't have it anymore. Now I just focus entirely on YouTube, and that's a better use of my time. But thank you for asking. Did you add more water to the mugs after pouring from the pot? Another coffee question. Is this because it's too strong? It's just preference. I can do shots of espresso as is, but I like to savor it for longer, so Kuba adds a little bit of water to my mug, and then it lasts longer, basically. Oh, someone's asking, where can interesting coffee finds be sent? Will you guys get a P.O. box? Like, part of me is interested in getting a P.O. box, because then, like, there can be some correspondence, or if people want to send us something to try, like, let's say coffee, then I could send them something, but I think we're not going to get a P.O. box because, again, I don't want things unnecessarily shipped internationally. I already don't like ordering stuff like my camera equipment online because it has to be shipped and transported. Like, I appreciate you guys offering to send us stuff like coffee and like other cool stuff you find, but I think it's best if we don't ship that stuff unless we absolutely have to. But I appreciate the offer. But it's tricky. I don't really know. I don't know if it's right to get a P.O. box. Let me know what you think about that, because on one hand, I would like to have one because then we can have an address for you guys to send us stuff. I could send you stuff in return. But I kind of feel like it's best to not have one just because of the unnecessary, like, shipping and stuff like that, and the transport, the cost, the fuel, the energy, stuff like that. So just let me know what you think. Oh, what is the mileage on the van, if you don't mind? It is 320,000 miles. I just asked Kuba that question before he went out to practice because I was like looking through these. I don't just know that off the top of my head. Do you use your veggie scraps to make broth? I did that before, but now we're just feeding the compost pile, so we just toss them in there. Because really, it's easier to throw them into the compost bin than to save them and make the broth, because when I make my one-pot pasta, I just use water. So I could do that for a video. That would be a cool little video experiment, so maybe I will do that. Oh, someone's asking, what did we have for dinner? And I know just by looking at the video, it was the one-pot cabbage pasta. So I will post a link and an info card in the corner of the screen. When you see the little eye pop up, that means that I'm putting a link in the video, so make sure you click on that. Next question. I'm curious if you have a dog park somewhere near you. Do they have dog parks in Poland, or is that an American convention? Does Ajka socialize with her kind? When we lived in Krakow, I think I found some dog parks on Google Maps, but they were outside the city. At least the ones that if I can remember correctly. Yeah, I don't think dog parks are popular in Poland. They're all over the US, that's for sure. She does socialize with her kind. There are plenty of dogs living around here, so she has like her boyfriend who lives down the road from us. Yeah, but we haven't taken her to a dog park, but maybe we will someday if we come across one. Why are you so tattooed? What for? I like tattoos. I view them as decoration, so the majority of my tattoos I've gotten years ago, before I even left the States. Like this one I got when I was 21, and I'm 35 now. So yeah, they're way old. So I am so tattooed because I like them. That's why. Isn't your husband using you as a ticket to America? And then there's a discussion here about whether I'm using him to stay in Europe or whether he's using me to go to the US. And this is funny to me because like, we have no desire to go to the US. We built this house in Poland, so we want to stay here for a bit. And I can stay in Europe without being married to someone from the EU. So that's what I was doing before Kuba and I got married. I would just move every couple of months around. And legally, that's totally fine to do. Because I'm not working in those countries, I'm working online. Why wouldn't I want to have European citizenship? Why not have the option to live and work in any country in the EU? Oh, they also are adding on that they think the stares I'm getting are because of my short hair more than me being Asian. I'm not against having European citizenship. I just don't know if it really matters for me to have that because I'm not working in the EU. So maybe I will get it later, but I don't know. We might end up moving somewhere. I have no idea what's going to happen. And the stares, when I'm talking about people staring at me here in Poland, it's mainly because I'm speaking English. Like in this small village, no one is speaking English. Like when they're out and about. So if I'm talking loudly, like I am now, people are going to turn their heads and look. That's natural to see like, oh, who's speaking a different language. And really now in winter, I'm wearing my hat and my jacket. So no one can see my short hair. No one can see my tattoos. They're not staring at me because of the hair. They're staring because I'm speaking English loudly. And the tattoos thing, that's because other people have suggested that people stare at me because I look different with the tattoos and stuff, but that's not the case because I am totally covered up when we go outside. Someone's asking me about whole wheat flour. Have I ever tried whole wheat? How do I think it would work? And they're referencing the pita bread recipe. I tried it once, and since whole wheat flour is higher in protein, it's more dense, it's more dry, the texture wasn't quite there, so it's something I need to work on. If you want to try the pita bread with whole wheat, just Google whole wheat pita bread recipe and you will find a better recipe. If you want it vegan, just add vegan onto that and Google will sort you out. If we can figure out a whole wheat pita bread recipe, then I will put that in a recipe video. Someone's asking me, when are you going to have a human baby? Never. Why was Kuba away? Because he was away for some time and then he came back. I didn't mention why he was away. And again, that's just, I don't want to share every aspect of our life. So like I didn't mention that he was leaving. There are several reasons for that. I don't want people to know all of our travel plans all the time, so I just left that information out of the videos. These vlogs that you watch, it's only a snippet of our day, so there's lots of stuff that happens that I'm not filming, so don't assume that it isn't happening. I'm not going to be explaining every aspect of our life, and I didn't feel like people needed to know that he was away also. Do they have Castile soap bars there in paper wrapping? because you can cut it up, put it in warm water. So they're suggesting that I could buy the soap instead of the jug. I could buy it in paper. We haven't seen that soap yet. We will look for it once we run out of the liquid Dr. Bronner's. I'll check at the local organic shop and see what they have there. Someone's asking about the sawdust bricks. How do those blocks compare to purchasing wood by the ton? And how long will a pallet of those last you? I honestly don't know how much they cost. Kuba ordered them. I feel like we'll have enough for the whole winter. The winter's pretty mild, so we ordered 1 pallet's worth. But yeah, I can't really answer that question, but you could just Google and see, depending on where you live, how much they would cost, and that would help you out. Someone says, you have a very beautiful face along with a very beautiful personality. What is your nationality? Thank you. I am American. That's my nationality. How do you dry your clothes? Do you let them drip somewhere? Right now, we have this like expandable laundry drying rack, and we just put that in our loft, and then all the clothes dry up there. We did buy this like pulley system to hoist it up to the ceiling, so once we install that, then we'll just be drying them like closer to the wood stove. But for now, the loft, it gets really warm up there, so they just dry quickly. We just dry them up there. How did the pillowcases come out being washed with the dog fur blankets? They came out totally fine. The fur doesn't stick to stuff. Like, I shook them all out before I washed them, so everything came out clean. Have you ever thought about buying a Frania washing machine? It's a good solution in the absence of running water. You can heat some water on the stove and pour it into the washing machine. We have considered that. There are lots of options for like more off-grid laundry setups. We don't know what direction we want to go in, so we're just waiting right now to see what we'll do in the future. And in the summer, like when it's warmer, I do like doing the laundry outside, but we'll see what we decide to do for the inside, because it would be cool to have a little washing machine, but we're just holding off right now. We don't really know what we want to do. 2 questions. What is your nationality and what age are you in Cuba? So I am American and I'm 35 years old and Kuba is 42. Why don't you buy solid soap and make the liquid version yourself? It's a bit more work, but you can buy solid soap wrapped in paper. They definitely don't sell Dr. Bronner's in the shops here. I haven't seen that in Poland. But I will look for the paper-wrapped soap, because obviously I would prefer to use that than the plastic bottle. Have you ever thought about creating a second channel for vegan recipes and cooking? No, because I don't have time for that. Managing this channel is a full-time job. There's no way I could handle a second channel. I just want everything on one channel because it's easier to manage, and then everything is there. I don't have to have all these other channels going on. Kuba has his own channel, too. So for now, the 2, that's plenty for us. Oh, someone's asking if Ajka is bilingual. She isn't. She only understands English because when we adopted her from the shelter, we've only spoken English to her. Since then, we tried a few of the commands in Polish, but because they think she was living on the streets or they don't really know where she was living, she didn't respond to those either. And I mean, it really just took 1 day and she understands us fine. So she isn't bilingual. We only speak English at home. And that's because Kuba prefers to speak in English. It's not because I don't want to speak Polish. I do. It's just he likes English better, so we speak English at home. What is that beige powder that I use in the recipes? It's nutritional yeast. Let me get this one. Focus on it. There we go. It's like a cheesy, savory topping, I guess. That's what it looks like, this little powder. It's really good. It's like the vegan version of like a Parmesan cheese or something like that. It adds a little umami, nice cheesy, nutty flavor. I use that brand because it comes fortified with B12 and other B vitamins with zinc, stuff like that. So it is kind of like a vitamin supplement. You can get it like where it's not fortified. There's a brand here that tastes really nice, but it's not fortified, so I'm choosing this one instead. I highly recommend you try it if you're interested, because it tastes really nice. You might have to order it online though, but we were able to find some in the organic shop here, so I used that one, and then this one I had to order online because we just can't buy that in the shops here. Let's see, I think this will be the last question. Why don't you use oil? Our body needs oil. Our body does not need oil. It does need fat. There's several reasons though. I don't like the taste. It makes me break out. It makes my skin greasy when I eat oil. It acts as a laxative to me. It really hurts my stomach. It makes cleaning up in the kitchen way more difficult because everything is sticking. Everything has like an oily feel. And I honestly feel like it's a waste because if I want to eat like olives, I love eating olives, or nuts, I'd rather eat them than eating oil. Oil is highly processed. It's just like white sugar. I try to eat it as little as possible, and if I can cook foods without oil, I don't really see the point in adding oil to the foods. Like another reason too is just weight maintenance. Anytime my weight has started to creep up, it's because I'm eating foods with oil. And that's just because oil is high in calories and it doesn't keep you full. So if you're cooking something with oil, like dumping a bunch of oil in there to like saute the veggies, you're not gonna realize you're overeating because the oil is it's high in calories and it doesn't fill you up. So I would rather just eat those veggies sauteed in water and eat more of the veggies. So that seems like a tastier option to me. If you wanna learn more about the health reasons, because there are other reasons to avoid oil for health, you can just check out Forks Over Knives. They have lots of information on that. But I view oil in the same way as I view white sugar. Like, it's okay to have in like extreme moderation once in a while, but if you can avoid it completely, then go ahead and avoid it. And to me, foods taste much better not covered in oil. I just prefer eating the foods that we eat that don't have oil. And occasionally we will have something like a chocolate bar or something like that, but even that lately is too much for my stomach, and it's just because it's a high concentration of oil. And our bodies are simply not designed to be eating stuff like that. Our bodies are designed to eat stuff like the whole food, like an avocado, a nut, an olive, where it comes with fiber and all these other nutrients with it. Processed oil is it's completely stripped down and it's just fat. That's it. So I would rather just eat other like tastier versions of fat. I'd much rather have an avocado than avocado oil, if that makes sense. Okay. That was a long Q&A session. We survived. So thank you so much for asking these questions, and I hope you found it fun and informative. And let me know what you think of this type of video, because I thought it was kind of cool to let YouTube filter the questions, because I could just go down the list and answer them. And I tried to answer as many as I could. I don't even know how many I answered. Yeah, so just let me know what you think, and if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. And any other video suggestions, I'm all ears, and I will see you tomorrow.